Hey, hi, hello, how you doing? My name is Ethan, for those of you who don't know me. For those of you who do know me, no you don't. Anyways, today, I wanted to kind of go back, you know, I got asked this question on a podcast recently, about what I felt my most, powerful video was, or what my most influential video was, and, honestly, I'd say that it was, I said it in the video, in the podcast, in the interview, whatever, what have you, that my most influential video, or not my most influential, my most meaningful video, the video I hold with the highest regard was the first one I ever put out, which is Raw Dogging Life. At least the first one that's a part of this series. And I do genuinely believe that. And I think that can be, attributed to looking back and being grateful of the things that have made you who you are, the things that have gotten you to the place that you are at. And so with that being said, I guess where I'm going with this is that even though it's very hard, it's a lot easier said than done, there's value in learning to kind of appreciate where you came from and what you've been through, even the bad things. I haven't necessarily had the greatest upbringing. I definitely, in the past at least, had moments of my life that I had wished I could have done over, or, certain things that I wish that I had gotten to experience, or certain things that I wish that I had in general. There was a very long portion of time in which I spent nights just wishing that I had come from a more affluent family. I'd spend nights just praying, hoping that maybe my family would win the lottery or something, that I'd get to experience what it's like living with a family that doesn't have to constantly worry about how they're going to pay the bills each month, where the next meal is going to come from, so on and so forth. And that never came. But I digress. Looking back on it now, I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. Only because of the fact that me going through all of that, me experiencing the things that I did experience, the hardships that I experienced, are what made me who I am. I don't necessarily know that I would have the same, ambition or work ethic if not for me going through the things that I went through. I maybe wouldn't have the same level of humility. It's kind of hard to tell that I would be the same person had my situation been different, even slightly. My brother likes to say that he thinks, at least, that if we had grown up in a wealthy family, I probably would not have been the best person. And to be fair, I can't say that I would disagree, because even going through what we were going through, there was also still a point where for a very long time, I wasn't the best person. I gave into a lot of negative traits, so to speak. I allowed them to rule me. I allowed myself to indulge in them. I became very impulsive. I became very negative. I became, just all around not a great time to be around. And so I feel as though maybe growing up in a wealthy family, in a situation where I didn't have to worry about anything, that maybe those traits would have just been amplified, as opposed to me reaching the point that I've reached now, which is that I have been very, very heavily humbled by life to the point where, you know, I haven't really had a choice but to find positivity and peace and light in everything else, you know. Don't get me wrong, it would still be cool to hit the lottery one day or something, you know, wake up with like $1 million in my account. That would be great. But money as a concept isn't as important to me as it once was. You know, I think I've reached a new point in my life where I no longer feel this unwavering, you know, just need to conquer everything financially. You know, I just want to be comfortable. I'd like to just know that I can afford the things that I need to survive and maybe have a little extra. And I'll be fine with that. You know, because at the end of the day, it's not going to bring you happiness, you know, and I know a lot of people say that, and a lot of people like to argue that only wealthy people say money does not buy you happiness, which I can agree that when they say it, it's out of touch, but I can't agree that it's not true, you know, or that it's true, whatever. Because, yeah, a lot of your problems can be alleviated by the presence of, you know, financial freedom or wealth. But at the end of the day, if you're unhappy, you're still going to be unhappy even if all your bills are paid. Even if you still got some extra money in your pocket, you're still going to be unhappy because you were already unhappy going into it. Happiness is something you need to find within yourself. And therefore, you know, it starts with self-reflection. And that's why I do believe it's very important that we do maybe kind of look back, you know, retrospectively, and maybe learn to begin to appreciate even the bad moments and the bad experiences that we've had in life, because of how they have shaped us into the people that we are today. You know, it doesn't mean you have to necessarily be happy that things happened. You know, there are very obviously certain things that happen to people that are not so great that, you know, you don't need to necessarily be happy that it happened, but just being appreciative of how it transformed you, essentially. You know, maybe it made you more empathetic. Maybe it made you more humble. Maybe it made you more ambitious. You know, maybe it made you a little bit more wise, you know, a little wiser. Either way, whatever the case may be, it's something that can definitely be beneficial to do. So yeah. Because looking back on that first video, you know, it's brought me so far since then. I think when I first dropped that first raw dogging life video, I barely had like, what, 5-10 subscribers on this channel. And here we are now, you know, where I'm at 150, which is way more than I ever even imagined I would have on my channel. And hopefully continuing to grow, because at the end of the day, I just would really like to have a community where we feel safe and we can support each other, feel safe with each other, you know, and it can be a place for like-minded people who sometimes maybe feel alone or anxious or depressed and maybe feel like they don't have someone to really turn to or talk to when those things get rough, or people that they can lean on for advice or just a shoulder to cry on in general, you know? I spent a lot of my life that way, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. In case people don't know that somehow at this point. So I'm pretty sure I might have mentioned it a couple of times already. But yeah. So just, you know, start looking back. Start being appreciative, you know. You might gain a little bit more contentment out of doing so. I know I have. Anyways, that's all. So, as per usual, if you feel the need or desire to discuss anything, whether it be good or bad, you can reach out to me via the social media links in my description below. I will always do my best to get back to you in a timely manner, 24/7, 365. No matter who you are, where you are, what time it is, or what the weather looks like. Because you are not alone. You're never alone. At least not here. You just heard what I just said about the goal here. This is a community. We support each other. We love each other. That's what we're here for. And if no one told you today, I'm proud of you. I love you. You got this. Just keep going. It's all you, baby. It's all you. Yeah. So, yeah. Until next time. Peace.